Bishop's face. He like,
hey, are you Bishop?
nah, he
like,
told me to keep my
I'm
shoes on.
Jamila's husband, right? No,
I'm going to still say the same thing.
yeah, either way. Okay, so I'm gonna say that. See, if I'm Ken or Coach Ken, now Ken and Coach Ken are two different people.
Okay.
So Ken, I always tell, like I tell Tammy on the show, I said, Tammy, like we'll go through stuff and I said, Tammy, I was Ken before I was Coach Ken.
Okay.
I know the game now. I done played the game and I understand the psychology of the way people, the reason I put together so many relationships and repair so many relationships is because the psychology of people don't change. So my whole thing was to understand the psychology of people, how we think, what we do. And so what we rely on, so just real quick, and I'm gonna let you go on with this, but I want you to understand this. And I told y'all this before we started. There are two parts of our brain, okay? We have our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, okay? I can go into the limbic part and the neocortex, I'm not. But just think about the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious mind are conscious things that we're aware of. We're aware of what we have on, where we're going. Our subconscious mind is like our computer. It is where we house all our emotions, our feelings, our trauma, everything. It is how we view the world. But what happens when we start dating people, we start asking people conscious questions like, who's your favorite team? Where you go to school? How many kids? How do you work? We try to get to know a person on the conscious level, right? But the true person lies in the subconscious. Y'all, what I believe about the world, what I believe about God, what I believe about myself is in my subconscious, but you don't ever get to know that person because you don't know how to get there.
Okay, so that's good, and I believe that. But the subconscious, when you're collecting data, they make you conscious by asking you questions that are easily answered.
Yeah, but you can collect data.
It's the game. So how do women, specifically women, because you know I'm team female, hear me roar.
Yeah.
How is it that women get to the subconscious?
Glad you asked.
Because that's the individual that they want to know. The joker that say hello is not the joker at all. And so it's the dating game. And so my ladies are here. If I'm speaking right, just clap your hands. They want to know the joker that's locked up at home in the cage. How do you get to know the subconscious one? Because honestly, and I'm gonna just talk about me for a moment. I'm happily married. When I was single, shut up, Michelle. There was no, I'm not hiding nothing. There's got to be an understanding so you and I won't have to work so hard. You ain't the only man that I'm going to see. Okay. Period. That's me. So I'm coming to you and I'm letting you know there's a roster and I'm worthy to compete for. So therefore, I already know my value so I can play the game well. So I don't have to fight to get to know the subconscious. I'm going to put who I am on the table and see what you got. How do they get to know the hitman, Michelle?
Go ahead, Michelle.
Well, I was going to say, and what she's saying, that makes them work. We're not making them work for us. We're not making them work. We're making it easy by emotionally dating so fast. So...
That's what you said earlier. You said it earlier.
Said it earlier.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and so we have to make them work. And I agree with what she says about the roster, but my number isn't 5. I don't have the patience for 5.
Right.
I don't have the patience for 5 at all. I will get frustrated, aggravated, and bored. But and another thing is he was saying, Coach was saying about the dating pool, how there are some good men out here. Amen. He said it's not just feces and everything else out there. There are some good men, but Coach and MJ, what I'm finding, and Bishop, is that the good men are just as hurt and damaged as the good women. Mm-hmm. So you have to you have to be patient and work through all of that. And that goes with collecting all of that data. And I'm giving myself 6 months to get to know these people. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting emotionally connected anymore. I'm giving myself more time.
Yes.
I'm giving myself 6 months. If I speak to you today, it's fine. I won't be upset if I don't speak to you again until next week. But we have to give ourselves time. They are just as hurt, damaged, afraid, scared, and all of that like we are.
But the difference between women will go somewhere and get themselves healed.
Absolutely.
And be accountable that they are hurting. I want to go back to what you said. Don't look at me like that. I want to go back to what you said. What you said that piggybacks off of what she said. You said men don't have a difficult time having sex. They have a difficult time falling in love. And so, he said, shoo. And so, if they want to introduce us to their vulnerability or the subconscious, how come they can't do that and let us keep our drawers on? I'm not saying, I'm just speaking in women. They always want sex. For what I hear from my sisters, they want to know the sexual part of a person first before you get down to the subconscious of who they are. So how do women play this game if they're not playing the game fair?
Okay. Do you want me to answer the question? I give you that. So if I tell MJ, so give me 1.5 minutes, and I will explain this to you.
The single people out here better say
Okay,
something.
I'm gonna give me single people. Pay attention for 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. So here's the reality. The reality is this right here. Is that if I told you I could show you a surefire way that you can stop picking the wrong person, how many people would say, I want that? If I could show you, sure. And so if I showed you how to do it, now watch this, because she actually asked 2 questions, and I'm going to answer one of them, and then I'll answer later. She said, how will I know? How can I play the game? Mm-hmm. So think about it like this, y'all. If I taught you how to ask questions in a way that went past the conscious mind into the subconscious mind. For instance, most of us ask just questions, who did you date? How long was you married? If I gave you a list of 10 questions to ask a man over the next 3 months, not just day one, hey, I need you to answer this. Because what we do is we just want to check the box. Mm-hmm. We just want to check the box, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, he got a job. He makes 6 figures. He's 6 feet tall. Mm-hmm. So I say, what if I said I gave you a list of 10 questions, 10 subconscious questions? Like, for instance, if I asked you this, to ask him 3, one of the things you wanted to know, you wanted to know, and this is in a new book that I created that some of y'all gonna get called Just Ask, 250 questions to know if he's the one. So I asked you to ask him, you wanted to know how he treated his mother, right? Mm-hmm. Wow. And I said, well, ask him this. Ask him, tell me one thing that you learned from your mother that helps you become the man you are today.
Wow.
So that question is not a conscious question. I don't have that question in my, that answer readily available in my conscious mind. So I got to go into my subconscious mind to answer it. Mm-hmm. And so now when a person says, wow, I never thought about that. Now you get them to think about it, to probe into their filing cabinet, their hard drive, what we call the subconscious mind. Now watch this. Now, all of a sudden, he says, I learned from my mother that don't trust a woman. Now, all of a sudden, you just brought something out of him. So now we're going to probe deeper. I say, well, why was that important to her? Or how did that affect you in dating? So what we've done is I teach people how to go from the initial question 5 levels deep. And now you can't hide who you are. Because if you decide